Chosen ones. How are you all doing today? How are you all doing today, chosen ones? Listen, I was sitting here thinking on my way to work, and I was sitting here thinking about some of the things that have transpired in my life over time and, over the years. And there were a few things that were kind of consistent in my life that, I was afraid to address because I was unhealed, right? I wasn't fully developed. I wasn't fully aware of who I am, right? There was a time. And I remember when people used to bring me their drama, when people used to bring their issues that didn't have anything to do with me, right? And I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect, because you all know I talk about, things that I've experienced. I talked about things that I've gone through. But what I've noticed, in my life when I was so unhealed and when I was just afraid of confronting people, and this could have been easily resolved if I was at a state where I was healed and I was whole within myself. What I've noticed with people when we're not healed, chosen ones, we attract other people who are not healed. We attract people in our lives that are hurt, and they just pile on more hurt and pain on us, right? And some of the things and the people that I allowed in my life, those situations could have been easily resolved if I would have just not participated in their behavior, or if I would have just moved out of the way. If I would have just denied them access and just moved out of the way, a lot of that stuff, a lot of the things that I've experienced, which I don't regret, right? I don't regret, because what I went through birthed a lot of things out of me. What I went through birthed the entire business, right? An entire business that I know is going to be 6 figures one day, okay? 7 figures, not just 6, 7. Matter of fact, it's going to be a multi-million-dollar business. This is something I know. But one of the things that I've noticed, one of the themes that was consistent with these toxic folks, is that I could have just easily moved out of the way. I could have just easily moved them out of the way and set boundaries and told them no. But because I was so afraid, and because I was so unsure of who I was, I allowed these people in my space continuously. A person shouldn't have to tell you they don't love you more than one time. Their definition of love and your definition of love is something different. A person shouldn't tell you that they don't respect you and they don't value you. A person shouldn't have to tell you that consistently. But because, I was so broken and I was so unsure, and I just wanted things to go my way. I wanted certain things to go how I wanted them to go. I was willing to sacrifice and suffer just to get that one thing that I wanted. And that's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. Yes, Patty. And we shouldn't have to see the potential in folks. Folks should already come. When you're healed, you won't be looking for potential. You will be looking, and you're not looking for people who are perfect. When you are healed, you will see people for who they are, not who you want them to be. Because when you're unhealed, you try to make people be who they're not. I've done it. You try to make people be who they're not. And see, this is what will happen. You try to make people be who they're not. And you make them in your head, and you present to the world that they're this person and they're not this person. You present to the world that they're just this awesome person. They're this good, person, and they're not. That's what you're portraying to the world. You're putting them on this pedestal because that's what you want it to be. But in reality, they're nothing like that. They're nothing like you are portraying them to be. Some of you make these people look like they're just awesome and amazing folks, and they're not. It is your vision of them where you want to shape and project. Some of you all have done things to put these people up on a pedestal when they know they don't deserve to be on no pedestal. They don't deserve to be on that pedestal, first and second place and third place. They're runner-ups, and you don't put them on the first place trophy. And so when they're presented to the world, people think they're going to get a first place trophy, and they're only getting a runner-up. They're only getting a runner-up because you didn't tell the world the behind the scenes. You didn't tell the world what you were dealing with behind the scenes. And all of the mess you were taking behind the scenes, all of the abuse and emotional, physical. You didn't tell people that because you wanted the world to see that you had it together. That everything was good on your end. What happens in this house stays in this house type thing. Even the people close to you, they don't see what you see. They don't know what you had to deal with. Because you kept it quiet. You kept everything on the hush. You kept everything looking good for folks. They thought you had the perfect situation. They thought you was in a perfect relationship. That's why God tell you not to covet. Because you may be coveting somebody's demons. You may be coveting somebody's addiction. You may be coveting somebody's abuse. You don't know what's going on. Folks behind the scenes abusing their children emotionally, physically. You don't know what's going on. Some people being abused by their own children. That's why you don't look at people's situation and say relationship goals. I want a relationship like them. No, I don't. I don't want a relationship like nobody. I want a relationship how God said for me to have it. And a lot of us did that. A lot of us lying on God. A lot of you all saying God put things together when God didn't put it together. Your lust put it together. You want to be lustful. That's what put that relationship together. God didn't put it together. He didn't put it together. But what I wanted to say is, when you were in these situations and when I was in certain situations dealing with certain people, I could have easily just walked away. I could have easily just set boundaries. But because I was so comfortable and content, and I just wanted certain things, which I can't say here. I just wanted a certain situation. I allowed people to abuse me. Emotionally, mentally. Allowed people to come around me and just reap havoc on my mental health. I allowed this. One time I got so sick. I was so sick in my body that I didn't know what was going on with me because I was so stressed. I was so stressed because I sat there sitting there afraid like a little kid. And that's what was happening. I hadn't dealt with my traumas. So I sat there like a little kid, afraid to come out from behind the wall because the boogeyman was going to get me. Because I didn't want people mad at me. And when you guys are so stressed out, it causes all types of immune disorders. But I thank God I was able to catch what I was dealing with. I was able to catch and notice it before it got too bad. Before it got too bad, the Holy Spirit had to reveal to me what was going on. And I had to face my fear because we don't want to face our fears. We don't want people mad at us, upset at us. No, we don't. We don't want people mad and upset. And I remember one time I got so sick. I didn't know what was going on. And God, the Holy Spirit revealed to me what was going on. I mentioned this in another video a while back. And I said, this is going to be the last time I let somebody stress me out. This is going to be the last time I let somebody come around me with their agenda. This is the last time I'm allow somebody to stop me from being who I am. For so many years, I wasn't myself. I was too busy trying to please other people, conform to what other people want me to be. I did that for years. And nobody didn't ask me to do that. I blame myself. I take full responsibility for that. This is the responsibility channel. We ain't blaming nobody. We ain't no victims over here. We ain't got no victim mentality. No victim mentality over here. But I said, never again. Never again will I lose myself. And will I stop? I remember this one person used to come around me, and they came with this energy that zapped the originality out of me. That's when you know it's demonic. When it zaps you and you just stop in your tracks, you're dealing with the demonic spirit, baby. That's demonic energy. That's demonic energy. When a person can come around and you stop being you. You going over, you're quiet and you can't be yourself. No, that energy shouldn't be shifting the room like that. You're dealing with some big boys. You hear me? You're dealing with some big boys. But that's what I want to come tell you all. You don't have to participate. You can set boundaries and you can exclude yourself from these situations, but you can't do that if you're not healed. You can't do that if you're not healed. Because I know I wasn't healed. Because I let this person, well, people, it was more than one. I let these folks just walk all over me. I suffered in silence. Nobody else didn't suffer. I didn't tell a soul. I didn't tell a soul. I was just sitting there dealing with it my own little way. Oh, they'll come around. They'll get better. They'll do this. They'll do that. All while I'm being emotionally, mentally, not physically, but emotionally, verbally disrespected, abused. But I'm trying to put my best foot forward, trying to keep things organized and keep things together and keep things going, and I'm shielding. I'm the shield to try to get certain people so they won't get the brunt of it. When you try to protect people, you don't want certain people to get the brunt, mostly like your children. You don't want your children to feel what you're feeling. But them kids ain't dumb. One thing I know, two things for sure, them children not stupid. We think these kids stupid, they're not stupid. Let me get back in here, but so long you be the shield. You try to be the shield until you can no longer take anymore. You don't took all the ammo you can take. You don't took all the ammo you could take. And you just break down, you fall down because you no longer can be the shield. You no longer can be the person to try to hold things together because it's killing you. Unaliving yourself. I ain't mean to say that because YouTube may strike this. But you hurting yourself. And that's where so many people are right now. You at the breaking point. And it's either you or them. And I hope you choose yourself. Choose yourself in this time. Be blessed.